Antisocial behaviour can blight communities across the UK, and it can be a particular problem on public transport.
Because while some passengers are left fearful of travelling, staff working on services also say they feel at risk while simply doing their job. We've got a special report this morning from our correspondent Dan Johnson.
Imagine being on this bus. This is not Star Wars. It's what some passengers have endured on public transport.
You feel very uneasy on a bus. People blasting fireworks at buses, a lot of gang violence, a lot of knife crime, just loads of fights and arguments.
How does that make you feel when you're taking the bus?
Quite scared, to be honest, because you never know what someone could just come on the bus and do.
When I was going off, there was this in the bus, so I got learning difficulties. And sometimes it does scare you, and I'll be getting a taxi home, because I know that I'll get home safe.
They will literally open the back of the bus, the emergency exit, and get on and then get off. You don't know what's going to happen. It does make me feel unsafe.
This is Chelmsley Wood, one of Birmingham's antisocial behaviour hotspots.
No! They light their lighters on the chairs, they light fires, and everything. It's just horrendous. I will literally avoid buses at all costs.
When the kids are coming out of school, they just dive on the bus. You're in a wheelchair, you're disabled, and you're still waiting outside in the freezing cold and you can't get on the bus. It's wrong. And the bus driver, he gets a lot of abuse.
If you come upstairs here, you sit down.
No wonder tempers are fraying.
And sorry isn't good enough. If I have to go and explain to your parents why you're dead.
Neil has 33 years experience.
Think about it. Bit of common sense.
This sort of thing typical?
Yes. Every day's the same. As you can see, there's a gang of kids here now looking at me and they all want to get on the bus, but they don't want to pay. It's the same thing day in, day out. Yeah, look, see? This is what we have to put up with. No one cares. They just walk onto the bus and do what they want, when they want, how they want, and nothing's done about it. But these people are here now trying to do something about it.
Do you want me to have a word?
Today, there is some backup.
It's up to you now. If you want to ride this bus, or you're going to mess around and... I'm not messing about. I am literally sat down.
Isha is one of 13 transport safety officers across the West Midlands.
You got on this bus without paying. The driver has let you on, and he's come up here and he's given you a warning as well. Not me. I didn't do anything. I was sat down. Driver's alone on the bus. It's like he has no other support unless we are on that bus as well.
They're not police officers, but they do have some powers to tackle public transport issues. On the other side of the bus station,
Yeah, fella. Can I have a quick chat with yourself, please?
they spot a face from their most wanted list,
I believe you to be this male.
an alleged vandal.
Criminal damage on the bus?
When?
Back about a month ago?
Oh, yeah.
It was you, yeah?
I don't know, not.
He is 13 and accused of smashing a bus shelter.
If any of these details are false, okay, it's a further criminal offence.
Alright. What actually happened though? Because I didn't do nothing wrong, I was just there.
They take his details, but the police will have to follow it up.
And I go,
Yeah.
Is that a good success?
Well, someone's been identified now that can be carried through with, like I say again, with the police team. And obviously, if it alters his behaviour or you know whatever does come of it, if that happens, then yeah, obviously it's a result.
So we've got access to over 5,000 fixed cameras here in the control room.
And their colleagues here are keeping watch across the West Midlands transport network, passing evidence like this to the police.
We've handed this footage over to them, and there's now a live, active criminal investigation.
And there are results. This was last summer.
The individual was identified, arrested, and received a 6-month detention and training order for brandishing that machete.
We had any more direction of travel for this matter over on Birchfield Road?
They're capturing around 30 incidents every day.
What would you say to people then who still feel unsafe on public transport?
I would hope that by seeing the cameras, learning about the Transport Safety Officer team, what the people here are actually doing for them, we're doing our utmost to try and keep them safe. But it's really important that if they do witness incidents on their journey, that they report them into us. So my message to the public is, tell us about it and we will deal with it.
Get off the back of the train, you know,
It's not just Birmingham, and it's not only buses. Across the country, journeys are being disrupted, and people are at risk. On Leicester's Netherhall estate,
Kids have been smashed on the windows on the buses.
antisocial behaviours forced the suspension of evening services.
No more after this. Why is that?
So at 5:30, this is the last bus.
Okay. How are you feeling about that?
It's bad because I finished work at 5. This is the bus that can just go to town.
Some need a taxi, others have to walk.
So scary, to be honest. Yeah, we are not safe. So many kids in this area.
And causing damage as well.
Yeah, they do a lot of damages. Yeah, and they intimidate people.
Back in the West Midlands, the transport safety officers are out every day, patrolling stations,
Welcome aboard this West Midlands Railway service.
trains,
Alight here at Victoria Square.
and trams.
See it, say it, sort it.
Sometimes we conductors get abused verbally and sometimes physically as well. So with their presence makes a lot of difference.
There's been a lot of trouble recently, hasn't there, in this area, you know, Wolverhampton and Birmingham, so it's a very good idea.
But it's not just down to us here, it's down to the local police team.
But for a small team covering a vast area, being in the right place is a real challenge.
Where were you on the weekends? Where were you on school holidays? Nowhere.
But the thing is, so the thing you have
We're
to
the ones
realise.
getting threatened. We're the ones getting stuff thrown at us. Broken windows. Where were you lot?
So there is other commitments around the Midlands as well.
So 2-3 buses a week getting done. And yet we keep telling everyone, no one does anything.
Do you feel at risk?
Sometimes, yeah. Everyone feels at risk. We have women do these routes late at night.
National Express told us all incidents are investigated, and the Department for Transport says it is giving councils and police stronger enforcement powers. Of course, every day there are millions of safe and uneventful journeys, and yet still there are fearful passengers and drivers who've had enough.
2 weeks ago, I had 2 windows broken on my bus. I got threatened with a knife. And that's all in a day's work.
Dan Johnson, BBC News, Birmingham.
Some shocking footage. Dan joins us now on the sofa. Hey, Dan. Just the frustration that comes across from the film from passengers, but also from staff, people on public transport, running public transport.
Yeah, this is an everyday experience for some of them. I think when I went into this, starting to look at this issue, I thought perception might be more of a problem than the reality that people think public transport is going to be more dangerous than it actually is. And that certainly is an issue. But what you get from the people who actually work on public transport is that they are experiencing this every day in certain hotspots right across the country. They know which routes are going to be a problem, which times of day are going to be really difficult, where the kids are really going to play up. And that's when they're crying out for more help in dealing with this.
Yeah, so you were focused on the West Midlands. Is it possible to get a sense of what the situation is more widely across the country and how unusual these instances that you've managed to find are?
Yeah, I think what we've seen there in the West Midlands isn't unusual. This is happening in pockets of places right across the country. There have been instances in Scotland, in Yorkshire, on the south coast, where buses have had to be diverted, they've been damaged, services have had to be suspended. It's particularly a problem around the autumn time, this time of year, bonfire night, Halloween, that's where there is a spike. The West Midlands were able to help us with the filming and share some of this footage, so that's why we focused on there. They were also able to show us what they're doing about it with that team that is trying to get back on the front foot. Not every area has that sort of team. They're going to get more of those officers in the West Midlands. Other areas have piloted similar teams to see if they work. There might be more of them rolled out in the future, but some areas are left pretty much uncovered, and especially when you think about a bus that might be going down a rural route or off down a council estate late at night with the driver just on their own. They don't have a lot of support always, and that's the kind of thing that is being discussed. The Department for Transport told us that it is rolling out more powers to give to teams like this and to try to get the police to do more like this, especially when it comes to buses.
Big response from breakfast viewers this morning, including one email we've had in from Matthew, who was a bus driver in the Midlands and has now left, and he says he cannot go back to work in that industry. And like so many people, he's asking why. Why is it so bad? He reckons it's got 100 times worse since the pandemic. Matthew says police numbers are being cut, too many people on waiting lists, can't get NHS appointments, too many kids being kicked out or excluded from society or schools, no support. Are those the kind of themes you've been hearing?
Yeah. The feeling that things had got a lot worse since the pandemic came up again and again. People said that. I don't know if that's just because the pandemic disrupted everything, so everything felt unusual after that, or people really have noticed this sort of slide in standards, respect. It comes back to parenting. Many people will say, why are these kids not able to control their behaviour? Why are they doing this? Where are the police? Why aren't they able to give more of a visible presence? That's where a team like this in the West Midlands is aimed to slot in. But you saw there how frustrating it can be for them trying to get into the right place to deal with these sorts of issues. That's why they say they want the public to report more of this stuff so that they can work out where they need to be at the right times to deal with it.
And I mean, it must be terrifying being on a bus when a load of fireworks are being fired at you, or people are having a fight. And I was really struck by the girl actually who was saying, look, I need to get to work, but they're effectively going to can this bus route because of this problem. So it's affecting people's ability to go to work, to go to school.
Yeah, disrupting their journey, and also if they then have to walk instead of getting the bus, they're potentially at greater risk because the kids could still be about causing problems in a different way. So there are all sorts of ways in which this has an impact. And of course, not just public transport. Antisocial behaviour is such a widespread issue that overflows onto the transport network. That's why it's such a big problem that's got to be tackled. Getting stats on this is really difficult, but we have seen in the British Transport Police figures from last year a real spike in antisocial behaviour. That's why it's such a priority for all the different organisations and agencies that are charged with dealing with this. But a really difficult time out, not just for passengers, but also for the drivers that are facing this, some of them on a daily basis.
Dan, thank you for your work on this. Lots of people getting in touch. We'll keep taking your comments as well. So if you've got any stories that you'd like to share with us, anything else you'd like us to investigate on that subject, do get in touch in all the usual ways. Details there on your screens. And it kind of feeds into that other story we've talked about this morning about the government saying they're going to invest in more youth clubs and hubs to try and get kids off the streets and busy, and they're saying that a lot of that has gone over the last few years. Maybe that's part of the debate.
Yeah, absolutely. Please keep your comments coming in, and thanks again, Dan. Now, Morning Live follows breakfast on BBC One this morning.